Today is I think today is October 3rd. Let me check. I want to be sure. No, today is still October 2nd. It's almost October 3rd though, cuz it's 11:39 p.m. as of this moment. And I keep on seeing videos by different people, but mostly by the same people, like there's this one YouTuber. He's also an author, and he has various different ways of, I guess, living his life. I don't know. That's a strange way to put it, but his name is Rom Wills. At least that's his. I don't know if that's his real name, but that's definitely his username on YouTube. So I don't know. I'm assuming that's his real name. Point is, I think he's a great channel for men, to be honest, because a lot of what he talks about, even the books that he's written, the ones that are not fiction, the ones that he's written, it's peer reviewed. I don't know if that's the right term, but I mean, he had women take a look at them that are also authors, and also, I guess, credible sources, or just credible people to kind of, I guess, support, or kind of like tell him, yeah, what you're writing is nonsense, or what you're writing is actually good. So his books are great, and his YouTube account, I think, is a great source of ideas or wisdom and knowledge for men, to be honest. I think of all ages. I see his comments, and I see different people of ages, like across the board, just being there. And so anyways, the point is, I like his videos, and I have a particular or a peculiar taste when it comes to these videos that talk about dating, or like just the scene between men and women, because I can't stand some videos that just sound too like scientific-y or something like that. I don't know. I would much rather have a more kind of regular conversation based video, I guess you could say. That's just my taste. I think everyone has their own taste in terms of what they like to watch or listen, and whatever, but I just can't stand the ones that are like, I don't know, like the one I referenced it earlier in a different video that I recorded like yesterday or the day before that, like just the sentence, emotional intelligence is the new sexy, and like it's just buzzwords. It's just like, no, I don't like that. Something feels very fake or very clickbaity out of that, and I just can't stand it. But when it's like an actual conversation, or when someone is openly speaking, or even just honestly with Ron Wills, he talks in a way that is backed by sort of like the art of dating, or the art of the dynamic between men and women. Like it's not like bullshit. It's not like he's talking off the dome like I am. I'm just speaking off like my experiences, and like off the dome, whereas he is like more talking about, like, I guess, the art between men and women. Whatever. I just had to get that off my chest. But the reason I bring him up though is because I was watching a video, and he's talking about cuffing season, how cuffing season may be coming earlier, and I liked the video. I liked everything that he said, to be honest. But there's something that kind of rubs me the wrong way in terms of dynamics between men and women. And this is necessarily not kind of a thing of like, don't hate, like, it's kind of like, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? And I kind of do have hate for the game, because it's just like, I don't know what it is. I just think that, because in the video he's talking about, women around like certain holidays, right? Like when it's like the months of, the Burr months, you got September, you got October, November, December, and then, after the Burr months, you got January and February, and if you look at those months, within those months, you've got certain holidays that, especially if you've got some sort of dynamic playing out, you kind of treat each other to different things like gifts, or exchanging of maybe more personal experiences of life, like maybe having someone over for Thanksgiving or for New Year's or whatever. And then you got, in February, you got Valentine's Day and whatever, right? And he's specifically talking to men in this video, but women can also watch the videos too, of course. And what he's basically telling men is that after February wraps up, after Valentine passes over, kind of like expect that the woman you're talking to around that time to kind of switch it up, switch up the flow. Like, she's not really gonna be sort of like interacting with you or whatever as much as she was during those months, which I can understand. But you know, and then he was like saying how like expect that woman to probably also go back to like, I don't know, like I'm assuming that maybe he's saying this like in a way where it's like if you're not dating that woman, expect her to be more loose in terms of like she's gonna be going back to whichever other dude she really wanted in the first place. You were kind of just like a filler, you know? And man, like like to me, it's like, oh my god, like is this really how it goes? And honestly, I don't doubt it that this is the truth in some scenarios. But I would like to just think that like I don't know. I would just like to avoid the whole mess in general. I would much rather be tied into like something genuinely real and not even give myself even the slightest chance to run into a sort of situation that plays out like that, you know? Where I know that, like, if we're going to be real, you know, in terms of dating, regardless, it doesn't even matter if it's dating. If someone is in your life, there's a sort of like a give and take sort of dance going on. Like, how are you benefiting that person? You know, like everything that we do with another person, or even the things that we do ourselves, it's like, how is this benefiting me? Like, how is this giving to me, or how is this taking from me? You know, so it's like you can't avoid that necessarily. But something about like, I don't know. For instance, right? I was at the gym today, and I'm working out. And it was like around like I don't know, I think I finished the workout a little bit closer to like 10 p.m. But when I first got there, it was like nah, man, I think I got there like around like 8:50, and I got out at like 10ish, you know, we're gonna say, right? And as I'm in there working out, there's different people around me. And sometimes I go to the gym with my closest friend. Sometimes I run into one of my old high school buddies from, like, you know, I'm cool with him, so sometimes I run into him as well. But towards the latter end of the week, these past 2 weeks, I've just been going by myself. And honestly, I'd rather be doing solo gym workouts for the most part. There are certain days where I would prefer for someone to like kind of spot me. Like, let's say, I don't know. I'm kind of diving into things that really have no correlation to what I'm talking about here, right? Point is, I was at the gym earlier, and I kind of had like tunnel vision, you know? I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to make no eye contact. It may sound silly, but it comes from a place where it's like, look, I love people. I love listening to people, you know, and all this stuff. I can say all these things, right? But there is a sort of boundary that I set. And it's not to say like, oh man, if I make eye contact, 1000%, there's going to be a sort of a conversation or an exchange or an interaction that's going to unfold. The likelihood of that really happening is very unlikely, you know, to be honest. And I was watching a video it was like some tech dude. I forget his name. I actually can't remember it, or I wouldn't even be able to remember it or recall it because I've never actually paid attention to his name. But I know I'm subscribed to him. And I think he lives in Texas now. And he's talking about people in New York and how these more dense populated places, right, where maybe that's not the proper terminology, but like, let's say in New York City, you've got a shit ton of people. I mean, there's people everywhere. And you would think because there's people everywhere, people will be less lonely. But it's in fact the opposite, you know? Like, there is even this, in the New York train stations, right, in the subways, there's been advertisements for this device that's like a pendant, like it's like a necklace, and it's like a circular thing, and it has AI in it, and it basically records your surroundings, and I think you could speak to it, and it's advertised as a friend. And I mean, to be honest, I use ChatGPT. I'm not gonna lie, I use it. I don't know if I'd necessarily treat it as a friend. I kind of treat it as like I'm just putting in information in there. I mean, sometimes it is about like my personal. I can't lie. I do be kind of putting some things in there that I probably should really be more considerate about. But I mean, it's not like it's recording my life. It's not like it's recording my life in terms of like what I decide to share with it, right? But it's not seeing what I'm seeing. That's something entirely different, but I mean, not that far off, if I'm going to be honest, you know? Whatever. The point is, these advertisements that are being put out in New York, like, they're being put out because they know that they're sort of, they're doing that intentionally. A lot of things are not done accidentally. Like, especially anything that's as like a product, like, they're putting that specifically in that place because they believe that people could benefit from using something like that, you know, like an AI device that is your friend. Why would you put that in the place that's really populated? You got so many people, because the people there are lonely. The people there are lonely. They don't communicate with the people that they're seeing. And to some degree, I kind of get it. You know, like if I'm surrounded by a lot of people, unless I'm at work or something like that, I'm not really talking to people, you know? But needless to say, the whole reason I brought that up is because at the gym, yeah, I mean, there's not, I mean, I don't go to a very popular gym, but regardless, I'm in there and I have this tunnel vision because I'm just like, I don't want to communicate with anybody. I don't want to give or take at this moment. I don't want to do that right now. I'm just going to lock in on this workout and then get my stuff done and then I'm out. I'm not making eye contact. I'm not engaging with people. And the whole reason I bring that up, right, is because this whole dance of like giving and taking with somebody else, I don't know. I've reached a point where it's like, this is coming from the place, from a place within me that's like just kind of fed up with, I don't know, like, I basically maybe I see myself in the past, like even a few months ago, even now sometimes. It's not something I've completely just like dusted myself off of, right? But there is this thing that I see that when I communicate with people, I end up giving way more than I am able to receive. And it's just something I've grown to be kind of fed up with, you know? It's just like, man, I give this dynamic or I give this sort of experience, like this person, I give a lot more than I really should be giving, especially in the past. Now it's more like I'm finding a balance in between, but I still notice, I'm like, damn, you know, like shit, like I give a lot and this person really isn't giving all that much. And it's just like, well, fuck, like maybe because it's still like early between us two and that's why like there's not really much being given to me. Oh, the light turned on back over there. I was like, what's going on over there? But anyways, yeah, no, I've sort of, and I want to talk about this, right? Because, man, it's like when I'm in this space of like, I just simply can't give as much as I used to, or like, I don't want to give right now because it's just like, why? It's going to bite me in the ass and make my brain just, or my thoughts go on like, it's just, my thoughts are just going to go on a run with it, you know? Like, what's a better way to phrase that? Like, my thoughts are just gonna run with it. Like, they're literally gonna make a mess about this. And then having to battle that, don't get me wrong, it's a admirable battle, I guess you could say. Because if you overcome that, you're overcoming your thoughts to some degree, which I think is a good ability to have. Because again, there's this quote that I've mentioned before in some of these videos. We suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. And overcoming your thoughts, not an easy feat to achieve. But if you are getting better at that, you best believe that the peace you're gonna have is just gonna multiply. It's gonna come in abundance. It's not something that you just get right away. It's literally having to sort of defeat your thoughts in a way that it's like, your thoughts are still going to arrive regardless, okay? Like, I'm not saying I'm defeating my thoughts and I don't have a single bad thought at all. It's like, nah, I mean, I'm having less of bad thoughts than I once was, just because I'm like letting myself breathe and just relax and just be like, okay, I'm good. Like, it's really not that big of a deal, you know? It's really not that big of a deal. My thoughts are making this a much bigger deal than it really is, you know? But yeah, this whole dance of giving and taking, like, I just simply can't stand it unless it's really for something that is important to me, that really matters to me. Giving that whole dance of giving and taking with like a random person, something that's like a fling, I can't stand that shit. I just simply can't stand that shit. And I personally don't think that really anyone should stand for that shit if you know that you're in pursuit of something that's just undeniably true. It's just like, I wouldn't ever, like for instance, the dynamic that I have playing out right now, right? I would never compromise this shit. I would simply just never compromise this shit. I would never put myself in a position where it's like, how can I say? I'm just forgetting that there's even a possibility of this developing, progressing, and just do something else that's not in alignment with that. There's just no way. There's just no way. And I've said this before, even if this dynamic that I have playing out right now doesn't end up becoming something that's progressing and developing, regardless, I'm in alignment with what I really am trying to see come into fruition, what I really want to see be manifested in my life. So it's like, regardless of how this plays out, I'm still winning at the end of the day because I'm doing something that's true to me. And whether that person is in alignment or not, it's like, fuck it. Like I've it took quite a bit to get to this point. It took quite a bit to get to this point. So it's like whoever comes with me and basically like we're walking together after this, it's like beautiful. Beautiful. I'm not gonna get beat up. Like, don't get me wrong, I've said this before too. Is it gonna bum me out that something didn't work out between her and I? If that's God forbid, right? But if that's what happens, it's just like, yeah, of course I'm gonna get bummed out. But it's just like I would rather just something not stick if it's not really sticking. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna like cling on to that and hold on real tight if it's not sticking at all. I'd rather just let go and be like, okay, it's fine. Again, it took quite a bit to get to this point. But I'm here now, and sticking to the alignment that I want to see be manifested, man, I don't care. Like Ron Will said all that stuff, and listen, I like the guy a lot, and to be honest, I don't think I'm saying anything that goes against him as a person or anything like that. In fact, I'm still watching his videos. I still enjoy them, and I'm not saying anything even against what he was saying in that video because, to be honest, like that's probably how it really is. But regardless, it's just like, man, cuffing season coming earlier and then someone kind of like dropping you after like Valentine's Day. It's just like, may this type of love never find me, because that shit is not love. That shit is not love. I'd rather not even play the game until something is really real, and then I'll really decide to put in as much effort. I wouldn't say put in the effort, but I'll show up fully. I'll show up lovingly. I'll show up as true as I possibly can, to the best of my ability, and honestly to the truest of my character. Not even to the best of my ability. I think that when you're really aligned like that, what comes as a manifestation in front of you, in front of what you're seeing with whoever that person is, truest part of yourself. The truest part of yourself. And I think that it's maybe innocent to some degree to like believe in something like that. But I've had I'm so fed up with just shit that like flings, or I don't know, like just things like that, like fed up with that. I'm just like, no, like this has caused me quite a bit of suffering. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I know suffering is a part of this game of life, but it's just like we could pick and choose our battles, you know? Like we can pick and choose our battles. That's just one battle that I'm just like, I'm good. I guess I could say to some degree I've defeated the battle. I won that battle just by being like, that's not even a battle I'm willing to take no more. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, that's a frequency I'm not tuned into anymore. Can I consider that a win? Maybe. Can I consider that it beat me? I don't know. At the end of the day, maybe they're both the same thing. I don't fucking know. Anyways, I love to continue yapping, but let's see. How long am I into this video? I'm about almost 20 minutes in. I think that if you're in a headspace like I am, just to be honest, like continue sticking true to what really benefits you. You know, if this is really a give and take kind of dance that's going on, not just between people, but also in life, it's like do the things that benefit you. You know, do things that really protect your peace, and have patience with yourself in this process, because it's just like we need that. We need that as much as we possibly can. Otherwise, we'd just be going crazy, and we'd be in a really upset or angry or frustrated state of mind that it's just like we don't need to be like that. You know, we can just do things that really protect our peace, and it's just like if someone's not in alignment with that, it's just like, all right, kick rocks or something like that. You know, respectfully. Now go enjoy your life. And I really do mean that. That's it.